So today I want to show you how you can design your very own card deck in Canva. If you don't know Canva, Canva is a free design platform that you can use online to design pretty much anything you like, and including card decks. So the first thing you need to do is decide what size your cards are going to be, the range of sizes that you can go for, or if you'd like to do a custom size, they can make that happen as well. For today's tutorial, I'm going to choose a 3.5 by 5 inch version. So all I need to do is open up Canva. If you don't have a Canva account, all you need to do is make one up. I won't go into the exact nitty-gritty on how to actually use Canva, but I want to show you how to set up and print your cards through Canva. So let's dive in. So once you've opened up Canva, hit this purple Create a Design button and we can get started. You're going to want to navigate to Custom Size down here. It's here you can enter any size design that you want to do. And so for me, we're doing the 3.5 by 5 inch. So first I'm going to go to Units here and change my units from pixels to inches. I'm going to add in my units and then press Create New Design. Before you start designing, make sure you head to File, go to Settings and press Show Rulers and Guides. And also, which shows you these little rulers up here. Then you also want to go to Settings and you want to show Print Bleed. I'll explain more as we go around that, but just make sure you've turned on that print bleed. The final thing you want to make sure you turn on is the margins. Now, these margins show a little dotted line within your actual design to kind of give you a bit of a guide of where to not put key photos and text and anything important outside of this area. Now you can go a bit closer to the edges than what this margin is, but this is just a rough guide that Canva gives you. And I think it just works well to just follow it because it also makes your design look more professional when things aren't really feeling really cramped and close to the edges, trust me. Now with this card printing, you can choose to have all of your backs be identical and be the same, or you can choose to have them different. I'll show you how to set both of these up, but the next step is really just to start designing. A great place to start is adding in your background color. So all you need to do is click on the background, select this color wheel here, and you can choose to add in a color from here. That you can choose any color in the world. You can choose to add in a gradient, or you can choose to select from the solid colors that already exist here. For me, I have my Canva brand kit already in here, so I'm going to choose my purple color or my green color, anything at all. Another option is you can even add a photo into the background here. So if you go over to elements over here in Canva, there is a lot of images and elements and graphics already stored in here that you can use. If you have the Canva Pro accounts, the paid version of Canva, you'll have access to a few more. There is still a great range of options on the free account. So for example, I could even type in here paper texture, and I could add in a really rustic paper texture in here, or I could type in grass, or I could type in anything at all, and there would be really great options for me to play with. And have some different kind of backgrounds, whatever I like. This looks a bit cringy, but you never know if that's your style and you're doing maybe golf or lawn tips, that could be perfect for you. For me, I have my Canva brand kit, so I'm just going to navigate there so I can add in my own background. Once you're happy with the background, you can obviously add in your text. So I'm just going to do that now. You can go to text over here and add in a heading, and you can type in whatever you like, change the font up here to anything you like, change the color to anything, and change the sizing to anything. So just have a play, have an experiment, don't go overboard, but enjoy the process. All right, so I've added in my cover in here. I think also I want to add in my logo, so I'm just going to go add that in now. If you ever need to upload anything, you can just head to the upload section. You can upload your logo or any images or any photos that you've got for yourself. And it's just, there's everything else that you need is already in here. You could even go to the design panel here under the templates, and you could even search like quote, and there'll be a lot of different options that come up for you that you can use for your design, so you don't have to start from scratch as well. Big thing to remember when you're doing this is that this is quite a small graphic. Like when this is printed, it's only going to be quite small, so make sure that everything you add on there is going to be readable even at the printed size, so making sure your text doesn't get too small. We recommend not going any smaller than size 9, but obviously a lot bigger than that is also great. Okay, so for me, this is going to be the back of my cards. I now need to work on the front of my cards. So I'm going to press Add Page. If you can't see this option down the bottom of seeing all your pages at once, you'll be on the scrolling view, so you can toggle between views down here. I've got scroll view where I can scroll between my pages like so, or I can press thumbnail view and I can see all my pages down the bottom. It's just personal preference here. You'll still get the same end result. So I'm going to click on the background here and change this color to a different color because I want them to have some contrast between the front and the back, and start to add in my quote. Perfect. Perfect. And so once you're at this point, you need to make sure that you are 100% happy with this design, because what you're likely going to do is duplicate this design, change the content, but maybe not change the design too much. You can choose to change the design if you like, but for me, I want to have quite a consistent look for all the backs of these, all the fronts of these cards. So I'm going to just duplicate this design. The way you can do that is by selecting the page, clicking on those three dots and pressing duplicate, or if you're inside the scroll view, just going to this duplicate button here. So I'm going to go duplicate, and that's just made another page for me, and I can go in here and change the quote to whatever I want. So fast forward, and I've now done 50 different backs of my cards because I'm doing a pack of 50 different cards. And so I've added in my different quote to each of these pages so they're all ready to go. Now I can choose at this point to have the same back on each of these cards, or I can choose to have a different back on each of these cards. And so if you want to do the same back on each of your cards, just leave that page at the front with all of your fronts after that. Or if you want to do a different back on each of your cards, move this page to second, and then you can duplicate this or whatever you want to, and move that to in between the next one. And so you would just continue to add in a page in between each of your backs, each of your fronts, so that each of those pages had the different back on it. So this is how you would set that up. And so for me, for example, maybe I choose to have a purple background for this one. And then I would just continue duplicating my pages to make sure that I had that different back in between each of my cards. But again, if you just want the same, which is what I'm going to do for my final print here, I'm just going to move this to the front, and we're almost ready to go. So at this stage, when you're 100% happy, all you need to do is go to the share button up here on the right-hand side and go to download. Click on download, and you want to make sure you're changing the file type here to PDF print. PDF print is what you want here, not PDF standard, but PDF print. Once you've done this, you need to select a few different settings here. The first you need to tick is crop and bleed marks. So as you'll see here, I've got my design. So your actual card will actually only be, if I just show you briefly here, I'll just change my background from green. Your actual card will only be this size here, but you'll see that I've extended my background into that bleed area. So this will mean that when my printer prints these cards, there won't be any white edging to it. And so when you go to your share and download, you want to make sure that you're selecting to show and to save that print bleed. So I'm going to go into PDF print and turn on crop and bleed marks. I'll show you what this looks like in the final PDF shortly. You also want to make sure you click flatten PDF. Make sure that all of your pages are selected. I need to make sure I add one more page in here I'm just going to duplicate a page just to show you what it would be like. And then for color profile, you can choose which one you want to do here. If you have Canva Pro, you'll have the option to select RGB or CMYK. CMYK will give you a slightly more muted look, and RGB will slightly more brighter look. It doesn't really matter which one, but just always remember that printing will appear different to your colors you have on your screen, just because a screen has light coming through it and inks might print differently, just to make sure your expectations are clear there. So I'm going to select RGB because I've got quite a bright design, but you can choose either one for yourself. Once I'm happy, I'm going to hit download, and that will now save to my computer. You'll see here these little black lines. This is the final PDF that got spat out. When you see these lines, this is showing the printer where they're going to cut this design. So it shows that they're going to cut it exactly where it's meant to be cut, but there's just that little room for movement if the cutter moves at all. So I've got all of my cards now in here. So once I'm happy with that, I can then navigate back to card deck printing and scroll down. So I'm on the new start here, and I'm going to go to printing your card deck. Scroll down to the bottom here, and you can press click here to go to our order page. You can edit all of your settings here, the amount of card decks you want, the size of card deck that you've chosen here, the amount of cards in your decks. I would select 50, and all of these different choices and edges, it's all up to you. And then you would press upload your design. You can upload in here the PDF you've downloaded from Canva. And that's it. That is how you design your very own card deck inside Canva. Enjoy.